Starknet was one of the worst investments you could have made last season. Many influencers were promoting it at over $2, but today one token is worth only 13 cents. And you may ask me, why did I even bring up this forgotten project? The hype is long gone and most people had already pulled their money out of it. Well, that's because Starknet is a pretty unique case. Despite dropping 96%, it still has a loyal community that genuinely believes in its future. And honestly, it's mostly thanks to them that the price hasn't fallen even further, because they keep investing in it, hoping that someday it will bounce back. Look, I totally get why someone would invest in the S&P 500, gold, or even Bitcoin. But it blows my mind that people are still investing into a token that's crashing month after month. I just couldn't ignore it. You're watching Crypto News, and today I'm gonna explain why so many people still believe in Stark, even after it crashed 96%. I am sure you know how people love to praise Starknet's technology. Like, it's not just another meme coin, it's got real utility. The thing is, most of these explanations feel kinda surface level. People just repeat that Starknet is a scaling solution for Ethereum meant to make transactions cheaper. We need to get deeper. So, let's do it. STARKWARE has a bunch of co-owners, but today we're focusing on just one, Eli Ben-Sasson. This guy is genuinely brilliant when it comes to computer science. In 2014, Eli was one of the brains behind the ZK SNARK concept. Sounds fancy, but in short, it made Bitcoin private. No one could see who sent what to whom. ZK literally stands for Zero Knowledge. Later on, Eli and his team figured out how to actually apply the concept, and they wrote an instruction for it. That paper was pretty long and detailed, and it was named the Zero Cash Protocol. That protocol eventually led to the creation of Zcash, which was basically an anonymous Bitcoin. Eli wasn't actually working on developing Zcash coin. He was very passionate about zero-knowledge protocols, and he was sure there was room for improvement. So in 2018, he co-founded STARKWARE to take that work further. Zcash was pretty popular, but somebody had found a major issue with the ZK SNARK concept it was built on. In February 2019, it came out that ZK SNARKs were non-transparent, meaning in theory, someone could exploit a loophole to generate crypto out of thin air. The bug was quickly fixed, but the damage was done. People lost a lot of trust in ZK SNARKs. That's when Eli's company, STARKWARE, stepped in with a new protocol, ZK STARK. It kept the anonymity, but had way better security. Their system uses what's called post-quantum cryptography, and the community is pretty confident in it. Things took a turn when STARKWARE shifted their focus and moved away from complete anonymity. In 2020, they launched a project called StarkX, and it's crucial to understand what it's all about. Essentially, StarkX is a scaling engine for Ethereum-based projects. It groups 100 transactions into one bundle, verifies them off-chain, and then sends one short proof back to the main Ethereum blockchain. If you don't understand it, don't worry. Just remember that StarkX was a huge success. To really get how big StarkX was, just look at one of its first partners, the trading platform DYDX. Before StarkX, users were paying up to $100 in fees on Ethereum-based DEXs. But when StarkX showed up and started grouping 100 transactions into one, fees dropped so low that DYDX actually started paying them for people. StarkWARE became leaders in their space. Every single month, they handled about $100 billion in transactions. Alright, so now we know that StarkWARE had some pretty impressive technology with StarkX. But there was one big problem. It was only available for a handful of clients, and the team wanted to change that. After securing serious funding, including $50 million from Sequoia, they started to work on their most ambitious project. Of course, I'm talking about Starknet. And this is where we get to why I am not a fan of how most people explain Starknet online. Like I said earlier, people just call it a scaling solution for Ethereum, something to make transactions cheaper. But here's the thing, StarkX was already doing that. The key idea behind Starknet And the part almost everyone overlooks is that it took Stark Access technology and made it available to anyone who wanted to build a blockchain app. A big chunk of the funding went into building their own programming language, Cairo. It allows you to create pretty much any blockchain app you want, and it also doesn't require a deep understanding of the ZK processes. And that's the real revolution behind Starknet. Not the scaling technology itself, but making it accessible to every developer. By the way, Vitalik Buterin was a big supporter of the project. He promoted it on socials, talked about it at conferences, and even personally invested $6 million in it. If you've made it this far, I'm guessing you already get why people believed in Starknet at the start. It had everything required for a perfect launch. An experienced team, funding from top foundations, outstanding tech, an impressive roadmap, and real utility. No wonder their token was super popular at first. But here's the real question. Why did they even need it? Well, this is the trickiest part of the whole video. You see, STARKWARE directly says that their token isn't meant to be an investment. They even have a full document about it. The token is made only for governance and paying fees. The only reason it may look somewhat attractive as an investment is because someday in the future they plan to ditch Ethereum and only accept gas payments in Stark. Nonetheless, influencers jumped in as soon as the coin got released. I think that back then people analyzed the project itself, not really thinking about the coin's potential as an investment. That created this narrative in the community that Starknet was an amazing project that will take over the whole Ethereum space. But then came the reality check. People started realizing that perfect picture influencers build wasn't actually the full story. In practice, Starknet was still at stage 0, while the market already had other alternatives that were more popular and way easier to use. As for the token itself, its utility still hadn't kicked in, since you could simply pay for gas with Ethereum. Plus, every month more tokens were unlocked, and many of them were sold right away. And this still goes on. Just a few days ago, $17 million worth of Stark showed up on the market. So that's how Stark, which once traded at $2.67, slowly dropped in price by 20 times. But what about that loyal community? Well, people who believe in Starknet are mostly geeks. They have a deep understanding of Layer 2 solutions and genuinely think that Starknet has the most advanced technology on the market. For them, investing in Stark is a long-term play. They believe Stark will lead the Layer 2 space on Ethereum, with the token being an only way to pay fees. I hope I've made it clear why a token that crashed 96% still has such a loyal community. If you found this video helpful, please drop a like. It really helps my channel grow. See you next time.